right, well, welcome to another episode here of the Alamo City Sportscast. And today we have a special guest, the one and only Rudy Campos Jr., host of Sweep the League, who's in studio today. He's our in studio guest. And just for you boys, everybody's always asking Jeff Garcia, where's the Coyote hat? Putting the Coyote hat on for you all. I think people think I don't have a healthy collection of hats because I choose to use the one or two,
The thing was, Jeff gave me shit last time I was on lockdown because I didn't wear this hat.
Oh, the
This is
210?
210 Spurs hat that I got from San Antonio Spurs, but I'm wearing it today like you're wearing your Coyote hat.
Yeah, I'm wearing the Coyote
So
hat.
we're in sync today, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't even, can you
Puro
name any
pinche
in
San
sync?
Antonio, man.
We're pinche San Antonio. Puro pinche San Antonio. Puro pinche everything, man. You said it was Throwback Thursday. You was like, oh,
man.
come in studio for Throwback Thursday. We're going to have fun. It sounds more like it's going to be Throwdown Thursday because your damn Twitter poll is going up. It's Transformers versus GoBots. If you need to go, it's at Two Shots Podcast on Twitter. Go vote GoBots. I'm the only dumbass out there that votes GoBots. Even though I'm a Transformer fan, Joe,
Yeah.
I love me some GoBots.
Rudy's gonna die on that hill for the fucking GoBots, bro. For real.
You gotta support the little guys.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I love the GoBots, man.
When I was a child, GoBots on site, bro. Either I'm breaking them or throwing them in the fire, bro.
Yeah, I get it. Well, okay, so GoBots is the Hill Country Fair of the robot toys. And don't laugh because you wish sometimes, damn it, I wish I could afford the Doritos. But you know what? I'm going to have to get the Hill Country Fair today because I can't afford the pack of Doritos. Doritos are the Transformers. GoBots are Hill Country Fair. They're just as good.
No, they're not just.
Don't
as
give me
good.
that shit,
No,
Joe.
man.
Don't give me that shit, Joe.
The Transformers, they were more intricate, and when you had to transform them, they were made better. GoBots had like 3 fucking steps, bro.
They were
3 fucking steps.
I get it. They had more steps than the
They were all
Plastic Army guys that we
dude.
played
They
with.
were all plastic. There's no metal in a fucking GoBot, bro.
And again, I'm not putting one over the other. I'm a huge Transformers fan, but I was also a big GoBots fan. Why? My parents bought me the command center, the GoBots command center. It was like an imitation of the AT-AT from Star Wars. I mean, that's what it was, and I got that. I had the command center. I had everything. And you know what? I also had Metroplex from Transformers. I had all the good stuff, man.
What the hell was that?
You don't remember Metroplex?
No,
It was
the city.
It was the big city that the Transformers had.
That's what they called them there.
It was red, white, black. It was a big, tall thing, and it would open up and all that other stuff. So
they slinging at you already.
Yeah, hey, I don't care. Tim Gonzalez says, "Let's go, Duke Tar Heels." Like,
Man,
whatever.
I thought that was Gio, dude. For a second,
I get shit all the time when it comes to Duke and Carolina.
Where's Gio, man? Gio's usually in here talking shit, dude.
SAFC, Joe, they're back-to-back Copa Tejas champs. Congrats. Shout out SAFC. Congrats. And yeah, Chris is right. You're flexing on the poor, man.
He said Chris says that GoBots are for bums.
I guess I was a bum. I was a bum on some weekends, and I was, a rich MFer on other weekends because I had both Transformers and GoBots.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this GoBot Transformer discussion later on in the show, but we can't have the show without having to burn my boy here, man. Because if y'all ever had a friend that just blurts shit out without thinking things through,
that used to be me.
That's Mikey Menace in a nutshell, dude.
Menace took it over.
This boy is wild as fuck, man. He went up on here and he came out last Friday saying that he was a cute motherfucker, cute as fuck. Now he says lost 12 pounds in the month of August, 11 away from being effing cute. I'm like, bro. I mean, come on. Look at the reactions are priceless, man. And I'm included in there as well. They're like, awesome. How did you do it? Asking for a friend. He's walking 3 to 5 miles, 6 days a week. And I'm like, huh? Castro and Solar is like, right. Angel, my boy Angel, West Campus alum.
Yeah.
This guy. This is my favorite one right here. MJ putting in that work. You can't have it without, what's his name? Richard Simmons?
Dick Simmons.
Yeah. Sweating to the oldies, bro.
My mom used to do Sweating to the Oldies.
Bro, that stuff was rough, man.
That was the complete waste of fucking time.
It was torture, man. There was pure torture as a kid having to sit there and like, what the fuck am I looking at, man?
It was flea market Zumba is what it was.
Yeah, dude. I'd like to.
That's all it was.
I would find an excuse to immediately go outside and do something. I would even want to do yard work Just get me out of this fucking place, dude. I don't give a damn. I'm out.
I can't believe my mom had like 2 or 3 of those cassette tapes. Those VHS tapes.
Yeah.
They weren't on there.
Yeah, they were on VHS. Same thing as the Cowboys, playoff and Super Bowl highlights, man.
Oh God, you brought that up, not me.
I know I did.
give shit to Cowboy fans. You brought that shit up, not me.
I know I did.
And you're right. I mean, okay, so you're going back to the Jimenez thing. You 11 more pounds and you say you're cute as fuck. Why do you have to admit you're cute? I thought other people like women were supposed to admit you're cute. Not. I mean, you don't look in the mirror and kiss the mirror, do you?
Hey man, but you know what? At the end of the day, you got to respect my boy's confidence, man.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with confidence.
Nothing wrong with confidence. He's got spades. He's got that in spades, man.
I've lost a shitload of weight, but I've never once said I'm cute. As much weight as I've lost, I'm still an ugly motherfucker. Yeah. I will admit that. I will die on that hill.
You're just living better.
I'm living better, but I'm still living uglier at the same time. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I'm on that go about ugly hill.
What does that saying goes? You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig, right?
Exactly. Exactly. You can you shine shit, it's still shit.
Still shit.
So I mean, or you can polish a turd, doesn't matter, it's still a turd. I mean, that's who is it that said you could lose pounds and not ugly? There you go, Chris. There you go. I was an ugly motherfucker at 480 pounds, and I'm an ugly motherfucker at 220 pounds. Who gives a shit, right? I don't care.
Bro, man. Tim Gonzalez says the story that he told Leja was so fucking funny, bro. Jimenez is wild for that shit. And I was sitting right next to him. I didn't hear a damn thing.
Okay, I got to get back to that, but I want to get to this. I saw that comment that was made, and I was at Matt Pecker's too that day. Bro. We were sitting at the other side. Is that true? Was that a true statement?
That was a true statement. He said that, dude.
Okay,
he was talking to Leja.
For people that don't know on Twitter, that are on Twitter, and they're listening on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, I'm gonna make that announcement on this because I think I was floored by it. And you tell me if I'm correct or not. But the comment was, when it snowed, he measured the snowfall by using his pecker,
his wiener. He put his wiener in the snow.
Oh, what makes someone want to say that fucking comment?
That's Jimenez, bro. He's wild, bro. He just blurts stuff out, man. He's like that. No filter, bro. When you get Jimenez, he's unfiltered.
No, I know Mike Jimenez. I mean, he is unfiltered. He reminds me of me back in the day, drunk, unfiltered.
Oh my God, bro. Yeah. Like if we only had those videos.
They are out there. They are out
Man,
there.
When y'all don't know, bro, but when Rudy would go on these drunken rants at like 12 or 1:30 with the bottle of freaking Jose Cuervo in his hand, dude, the shit was fire.
On a podcast.
Yeah, he was live streaming.
They're out there. I know they're out there. But hey, shout out to the fantasy gods, man. We did that whole thing at Matt Pecker last week, and we had a draft. We had best ball draft. Brandon Medina put it together. I was a part of it. We had a lot of you guys out there that were part of it. I think Joe's a part of it. After that draft, Joe, I had major pants rigor mortis. I had major Nick Chubb after that, looking at my roster. I went home and I roster baited like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, man.
I mean, that is a sexy fucking roster.
You think you're going to win? I think I'm right in the middle of the pack, Nobody was picking up my boy Dak, so I had to pick him up. I couldn't let him be the last man chosen.
Yeah, I don't know why you picked Dak, but
fuck it, dude. I said, fuck it. Dak is there. Nobody's going to get this motherfucker. I might as well.
I get it.
I can't see a Cowboy just there not being picked, man.
Look at Locked On Spurs jumping on there. I like that comment, man. The snow must have piled up to half inch for Jimenez.
Man,
I thought the turtle goes back into the shell when it's cold.
Oh, bro.
I mean, if you're sticking that in the snow, I would think nothing would come out.
Bro, shrinkage, man. It's cold as hell.
Shrinkage is real as fuck. I ain't gonna lie, it's real as fuck.
Bro, you ever got into a freaking river or to a lake, man, and you're a boy, you're a male, and you jump in that water, it's like, woo!
How are we really getting on to dick talk? I'm not
hey,
understanding.
Man, it's the rated R days, brother.
This is the rated R days, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll move away.
We got to move away from the Jimenez. But, hey, shout out to Jimenez. If 11 more pounds makes you cuter, then by means, lose that 11 pounds, man. You can be a healthy cute in your eyes. That's all.
Let's go, say. Duke. Fucking Clemson on Monday night.
Tim Gonzalez is really like on the Duke bandwagon there. He's a Duke fan, and I give him props for it. I'll give him props.
Christopher, he said 7 inches, but I meant 7 centimeters. Mike was on one, bro. Mike was on one. Like I said, I missed the whole
He's gonna
story.
live on that
I
hill,
was
man.
sitting right next to him, talking with Mike Baez from Bear County Social.
He's gonna live, dude. He's gonna live in down that hill. But you know what? There is a hill that I want to get onto real quick. We've got GoBot talk. We've got a little bit of MLB talk.
Oh, let's just show this real quick too before.
What do we
do
got?
that.
What do we got?
Yeah, we want to talk about this since you're
Okay.
the card aficionado here.
Not really, but I did collect. And I
Devil
still
in
do.
the,
I
in the
dabbled in it,
collecting
yeah.
game. So Jeff went ahead and put this out. Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. You can follow him at Jeff G Spurs Zone.
Yeah.
He put first autographed Victor Wembanyama card sells at an all-time price of over $67,000. You can go and click on the link there, and it takes you to the official Ken's 5 site where you can see the full article. But that's some good coin, man, for a Topps card of all things as well.
He's not in a Spurs uniform.
He's not. He's in the Mets 92.
So we can already say that his, one of one or one of fives, number to 5, number to 10 cards, gold cards in a Spurs uniform autographed, or you're probably looking at the same amount, if not maybe closer to 80, 90,000 because it's in a Spurs uniform. But here's a problem, Joe. Got an issue with it. You're putting all this money, and it's like I told Jeff, it's like the stock market. You're buying stock, hoping it goes up. What if Wemby isn't that guy?
What if this is the peak?
What if this is the, because I'm going to lie, you're going to see his base rookie cards, especially Prism cards. They're going to probably go for 30, 40, 50 bucks right off the bat. Just right off the bat in a Spurs uniform. So we're not even getting the short print stuff. You're going to probably see those. You may even see them as high as maybe 90, 100 bucks. And that's not even graded. So raw. But it goes back to what if, and again, I'm not shitting on the Spurs or Wemby. I don't do that. I just, speak the truth half the time about it. I speak my opinion on it. But what if he's not that guy? You spend $67,000 on a card. That's $67,000 you're not getting back ever. You'll be lucky to sell it at half back if he's not that good.
Hey man, if I pulled a Wemby card right now from a box of Topps,
but it's not a Spurs card.
I don't give a damn. I'm selling that motherfucker. 67 G's.
But
I'm gonna sell it, and I ain't telling the wife a damn thing.
But you're not gonna get 67 G. Okay, are you talking if you pulled that exact same
if I
card?
had pulled this exact same card, something like this is the first ever. That's why it's going for so much. But realistically, if I pulled that card, it's probably not gonna go for that much money.
So there's a redemption card in Bowman University that if you pulled the redemption card, I think it's a green refractor.
Yeah.
Topps is flying you in, I think, to San Antonio.
Oh yeah, Jeff
You
told me
saw
that. That one's going for I think $400.
I think so.
Yeah.
But the experience is worth a whole lot.
Oh yeah,
more.
dude, definitely.
It's really like, and Anthony's right. You've got to do this. It's sell high, buy low. The problem with Wemby stuff is you're not going to find stuff that is low right now unless it's a base card. And even at that, the only base card he has right now is the one in not in a Spurs uniform, his other uniform. I'm brain dead right now. I can't remember what uniform it was, but he's in the regular uniform. So again, but it goes back. Why would you? Okay, let's go back on my history. I pulled the only one that I know of, a number to 10 gold Luka Doncic autographed rookie card from Prism. I've got pictures of it.
I remember that.
I sold that bad boy for $7,500 at the time. If I would have held on to it, that card is closer to $100K because it was graded. It was graded 9.510. So that's a $100K card just by Luka, being Luka right now.
How much did you sell it for?
$7,500.
That's still not a bad profit.
At the time, that was not a bad profit. But now I look back on it, I don't have a ball sack because I keep getting kicked in it for selling that card so low. But I had no idea what that card would have been worth. Had Luka not been that guy, then I'm stuck at, maybe 5K, maybe 4K, 3K.
Yeah.
So it sucks. But again, spending $67,000 on a non-pro card is ridiculous.
Well, it could either turn out to be a great investment or one of those you live and learn.
But, the also thing too, Joe, is when you're a card collector and you're a card, if you even want to buy cards, you've got boners for the college cards because that's all there is.
Yeah.
But once the NBA starts releasing the hoops and the prisms and, immaculate and all this stuff, then those college cards are null and void and worth shit.
Yeah.
So all you can say is, well, I have Victor's first autograph card. It's his, it's his Zips card or whatever. It's not his Spurs card. People are going to start transitioning to the Spurs card. And that's why I said $67K for that card. It's good now because it's the only card out there. But once the actual pro cards come out, it's going to dip in value a lot.
Probably go from 60 to more like $7,500.
No, not that low. It'd probably be right around the 15-20K, I think. What do we got? Tim Gonzalez, Joe, let's do pick'em game week college football. I'm down for that if we have time later. I'm down for that.
Make a little quick list, what we think, who we think's going to win. And
we can go all the games, all the rated games. We'll even give our take on the UTSA Houston.
Well, you do have UIW coming up. They're going to wind up playing UTEP. Come on, that's a no-brainer right there.
Why do you think so?
Oh, because I know UIW is going to put on a good showing, man.
Yeah. UIW is a hell of a program.
It's a legit program, man. And UTEP, well, UTEP is UTEP. I mean, sometimes they come to play, but most of the time they're going to get their ass handed to them.
I think Tim Hardaway when I hear UTEP.
Lord.
That's all I think about is Tim Hardaway.
Hey, but you also wanted to pose a question too.
Yeah.
So as we start getting off of this card talk here.
So it's Throwdown Thursday.
I think this is
the Throwdown Thursday. So again, you're listening to Alamo City Podcast Network, Alamo City Sportscast, Joe Garcia. Fantastic job. I'm Rudy Campos Jr. from Sweep the League. You can follow at Joe on Twitter at 2 Shots Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at Sweep the League. So posed the question, Joe. And I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this. I don't know if it's going to piss Spurs fans off. And it's the only Spurs talk we're going to really get into. But I posed the question and I got to ask, looking at the current Spurs roster as constructed, not saying any moves or anything, as it's constructed, why do we have fans? Why do we have people saying that they can see 40 plus wins for the San Antonio Spurs? Now, I'm going to make it a little bit, not challenging, but I'm going to make it a little different here. If you want to come at us or forget it, not Joe, come at me about it, let me know. But you cannot use the word potential. Don't give me potential because Keldon Johnson came off of a gold medal, run with the American team, and everybody said his potential went through the roof. We have yet to see that potential. Devin Vassell improves year to year, but we haven't seen that potential. You've got 4 games in the United States of Victor Wembanyama. Bad, good, bad, good. Where's the potential? You see potential, yes. But without using that word, what makes fans and everybody think the Spurs can win 40 to 40 plus games? That is the question. To me, I said they had 32 wins, 10 more wins than last year. But you know what, Joe? I don't even know if they can get the 32 wins. Let's go to the division stuff. Let's go to the conference stuff.
And look at Christopher Leha.
All right, let's see. Because we won 22 and weren't trying. Plus, we don't have a consistent lineup. We were called a 30-win team last year as we sat. Add Wemby. Easily adds another 10. Now, the Wemby effect, I did say it before, and I will stand by it. I said it could add 10 wins, so 32 at the most. Now, last year on the podcast and everywhere, Locked On Spurs, I said the Spurs were around 24 wins. I was close to that.
Yeah.
And again, I said 32 this year. I'm having trouble myself getting to 32 now once I'm looking at it.
I think Vegas is too. The Vegas odd makers.
And Vegas knows.
Yeah.
Vegas knows. So, I mean, this is the part I'm trying to get at here. They were 12 and 18 against the Eastern Conference. They were 11 and 41 against the Western Conference. The only team I believe they had true legitimate win, like they were owning last year, were the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, look at the other teams. The Rockets.
They had the same record as the Rockets last season.
And the Rockets improved. I mean, in a way. They got Fred VanVleet. I mean, they had a Dylan Brooks, which we don't know about Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is, one batshit crazy guy. So I'm not worried about Dylan Brooks. But Fred VanVleet gives them, a step up. Is it more than the Spurs? I don't know. It's 1 and 2 right there. But every team in that Western Conference, and don't give me the Portland Trailblazers shit. I mean, with Dame there, they're a better team. The New Orleans Pelicans, a better team. So, you can maybe say Utah, but I'm not so sure that Utah is worse than the Spurs. So can you see them winning an extra 7-8 games in the Western Conference alone after going 11-41?
If you're going to ask me, I'll give you my opinion.
I want your opinion.
Okay, so last year the Spurs finished 22-16. They were tanking hard, They were tanking softly, like killing me softly, tanking softly. Because Coach Pop, when he tanks, he doesn't tank that often, but when he does, it's usually going to amount to a number one pick. And hope, and this happened this time. It was just a miracle, the Spurs were able to get the number one overall pick, and they select Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
But the problem that I have with the Spurs is you still, for all intents and purposes, still have some of the same core guys that you did last season.
Yeah.
While the Spurs, again, as I said this on the Locked On Spurs podcast with Jeff, while they're going to get better as far as their interior defense, they might be a better team when it comes to rebounding, deflections, of course, rejections, things of that nature, The problem is, how are you going to shore up the perimeter? And Jeff's like, his response was, well, Victor's so long, he can go out there and he can't guard the wing consistently.
Can't guard the wing, but he can guard perimeter.
He can guard the perimeter. He can guard the perimeter, but I don't think that's where Coach Pop is going to want to use him most of the time.
Exactly.
He's going to want to use him primarily as a defender to guard the rim, and kind of change the direction of the ball. When you have somebody coming inside the lane that's really good, young, athletic, and quick, while they might be able to get around Victor, they can't get away from his length. That's always going to be a factor. That's where I think he's going to be more instrumental to the Spurs, is going to be in the interior defense. Now, the Spurs notoriously aren't a great wing defending team. Teams have went ahead and shot the lights out on the Spurs going back to last year from beyond the arc at a high percentage.
Yeah.
We still don't really have that lockdown 3-and-D defender. While you do have some guys that can go ahead and guard the wing, there's still a gaping hole there. The other gaping hole, even though people like to give me shit about it, and they're like, well, look at Trey Jones. Yeah, look at Trey Jones. He's a great point guard. Don't get me wrong, a solid point guard. But is he that guy that's going to really get you to that next level? As far as getting you past the playing game, further into the postseason.
Trey Jones is serviceable.
He's serviceable. But I'm saying, like, when you look at some of the other teams, what is one of those positions that a lot of these good teams have in common? They have great prolific point guards.
They're floor generals.
And they're good floor generals. I mean, I'm not taking a knock at Trey by any means, but you still have some positions that the Spurs, they need to address. You factor that all in with Victor Wembanyama, and I'm just going ahead and speaking to you with facts as far as what we have now. We don't know what the season's going to really pan out to. We can just make our best assumptions. 22 wins last year. You have Victor, the number one overall pick, hasn't played one single game yet. If I have to go ahead and predict, I would say that the Spurs are good for maybe 6 more wins, maybe 8 more wins. That would put them somewhere in the neighborhood between 28 and 30 wins. Yeah. I think that's where they're going to be this season. While they'll be more competitive and it's going to be exciting to watch them, there's still some issues with this team.
Yeah, and I agree with that. The thing is with Victor, you're right. So with Victor, you're getting defense. You're getting defense. You are really getting defense on that. But so the way coaches are going to coach against the Spurs is you draw Victor Wembanyama away from the basket, when you're on offense. That's the best way to do it. Why? Because if you've got a quick guy like, you got Steph Curry, all these guys, they're going to be able to cut and get to the back of the basket. They're going to be able to burn their guys off the dribble. Devin Booker will be able to get to the basket. Kevin Durant gets to the basket. And they don't have to worry about Victor out there. So you're probably going to see these big guys camping out, outside on the perimeter, drawing Victor away from him. And if you've got guys that can go around Victor, his recovery time is tough. He's got length, but he's got to be able to recover. So I see Victor's going to add more. He's going to add value to what the Spurs have. But does value increase win total? It's not there yet.
I think what the Spurs fans get enamored with or get confused with is the team will be more competitive, but doesn't really mean that it's going to translate into a shit ton of wins.
Yeah.
I don't see this team winning 40 games. I just don't.
There's no way. In my opinion, there's no way. Now, again, if they win 40 games, yeah, we got Commerce Street, Joe. We'll go honk the shit out of Commerce Street.
Vamos honking.
Vamos honking. If they get to 40, that's it, because then they're a play-in team at least. But we're talking about the same team from last year. I'm great with it. But again, here's the question. Every playoff team has one of these guys. Every play-in team has one of these guys.
Oh, God, the Jeff, man.
So let me ask you, who is that guy?
Jeff,
and that guy being, who is their star, their superstar?
Well, Jeff's putting a lot of stock in one Reggie Bullock.
Bullock is good, but Bullock is not a star.
He's not. And I think when you look at Bullock, he's going to be a good piece coming off the bench.
He's a great piece. He's a great addition to the Spurs.
But is he a game changer? Is he going to change the trajectory of the game? He's going to be able to take over the game over there, guarding the perimeter. He's good for a couple minutes. Coach Pop knows this.
I've told Jeff a lot of times, I love the Bullock edition. I love the Cedi Osman edition. These are good veterans that the Spurs need. But who in the F is this guy? There's no guy on the team. We've got 4 games of Victor. Neither one of those games, I don't care what he did the very last game of the Summer League, that doesn't translate over to the regular season for me.
Everybody believes that this team's really going to win 40 games.
And that's what I wanted to cause. I wanted to cause a ruckus because I want you guys to tell me, why do you think they're going to win 40 games but don't use potential?
You know, I like Tex-Mex Frank's comment here. He goes, they're going to win 40 porque we're going to be lighting the candles. Prenda la pinche vela. You know, that's going to be the difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, we can all light the candles every year for the Spurs. That should be the question that we would all have to sit down and answer is, you know, we'll go through all the teams, Joe. I mean, Oklahoma City was not supposed to be good. They have an all NBA guy now.
They have Chet Holmgren coming back.
Yeah, but they also have an all NBA in Gilchrist-Alexander.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Spurs don't have an all NBA player. They don't have an all-star.
They have potential though.
They have potential.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can potentially be cute if I lose another 11 pounds.
God, Mike could potentially be cute as fuck if he loses another 11 pounds.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
I could potentially be a millionaire if I played the lottery every day. Don't use potential. Potential is not a part of this, reasoning. That's what I want to know. Where does 40 wins go? Like, I don't understand the 40 win shit. I really don't. You had a 22-point game scorer in Keldon Johnson, which puts him right where Klay Thompson was averaging last year, but Klay had Steph Curry. So you potentially have, 50 plus points from 2 guys, two main scorers from the Spurs or Keldon and Devin, combined average of 40. After that was 11 points per game, I believe, which was next, but I can't remember who it was offhand.
Well, in the earlier part of the season, I think Keldon Johnson was shooting really good from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
And he was putting up some good numbers, overall good numbers when he was shooting from the field. His field goal percentage was pretty high, but that was earlier in the season. Now, as you get further into the season, it shows you that teams kind of figured some things out. And they're like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and double, triple team Keldon, make it hard for him to shoot. Let's take away the passing lanes. And he's going to be forced to take hard shots. And he was. And when he took those hard shots, the stats, they kind of reflected what was going on.
Yeah.
And it was harder for him to get good, clean, open shots. Not a knock on him. It was just the state of what the Spurs were in at the time. They had some injuries. They had some players that had to give him some minutes because they really didn't have anybody else. And unfortunately, other teams found out, hey, there's the head of the snake. And if we cut that off, the team will fall or will crumble. And that's what happened more likely than not.
So I'm not going to, I love Chris Leah. Great guy. I met him. Chris Leah is a great guy. I love the comment that he made, but this is the other part. I was hoping this comment would come in. I really was. Because then here we go with this one. So you're right. Wemby is supposed to be the greatest talent anyone's ever seen. He's supposed to be the next big thing. He's supposed to be that
unicorn
guy.
He's a unicorn.
He's not even a unicorn. Like, he's better than a unicorn. He's the fucking tooth fairy. You finally found the tooth fairy. You've seen it. You caught the tooth fairy and you caught Santa Claus. You saw him in person. But that's the thing. Here's where we're going to go with this. Tim Duncan added 20 wins. He added multiple wins.
Yeah, there you go.
You knew what you were getting in Tim Duncan. For 4 years at Wake Forest, he dominated ACC ball. He was a force in the paint for Wake Forest. But you know what? He played where the media was available. He played on the big stage, when it came to March Madness.
Yeah.
He played around 4 future NBA players, stars, superstars in college. So you can't tell me that Wemby's coming into the league like Tim Duncan, because Wemby has not laid a fucking foot on a college basketball floor.
Wemby ain't coming in here like a wrecking ball like fucking Miley Cyrus, bro.
No. No, not at all. Now, you want to get a quick glimpse of maybe who Wemby is? For me, Wemby is more like David Robinson coming in, minus the win total. But when David was drafted, we got the idea, okay, we've got a dominant defender. We didn't know how good David was on the offensive side. We didn't know how quick he was on the offensive side of the ball. Wemby is coming in like David for me. Yeah. A defensive presence.
You know what, Chris? You want to call in, dude? I'm going to go ahead and call you right now, brother. You want to go ahead and
if you want to do call-ins, I love call-ins. I'm loving the call-in part. I love calls.
We'll go ahead and get him in here, dude.
Yeah, if you want to call in, call in if you're able to call in.
You got the number, brother.
So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, to me, it's David. You're getting the defensive side. We don't know what we're getting on the offensive side for Wemby. Don't give me the, all these numbers and shit like that. I don't buy it. I still don't buy it on it. And I'm glad they got him, but that's what it is. Do we got him on? So yeah, here we go. I mean, we're gonna talk, and again, we got a call-in number here, so we're gonna talk a little bit here about it. We're gonna talk a little bit about, we basically added this whole thing about, hey, do the Spurs, why are they a 40 plus win team?
All right, man. Getting. So we do got Christopher Leha on the line now. I went ahead and brought my boy on because he has something to say about this projection here. Are the Spurs a 40-win team?
Are we bringing the GoBot talk?
Oh man, now? He's calling you a pinche GoBot, Chris.
I'm a bum. No, he's not a GoBot. I'm saying we're gonna get GoBot talk. Chris is gonna call me a bum.
All right, Chris, you on, bro?
What's up?
What's
Rudy?
up, Chris?
What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Calling it a day already. It's time to go home.
Yeah, so go ahead and give us your take, man. Why do you think the Spurs are a 40-win team?
Why do I think they're a 40-win team?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, Tim Duncan came in. He had a 20 wins. I get the whole he played in Wake Forest for 4 years.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we can't sit here and act like Wemby didn't play against a bunch of grown men in France either. That's what he did, right? I mean, he dominated over there in France for how many years, And then when Rudy said he's like David minus the wins, I'm like, but you bring up the point that David was a defensive monster. I mean, Wemby's supposed to be that guy too, Yeah. So I personally think, man, we all know what the Spurs did, last season. They tanked. They could have won more games. It was there. It wasn't like we didn't see the Spurs, doing good for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden for the 4th quarter, everybody's sitting on the bench, and they're losing these games. Yeah. So it's not like we weren't you can call it a decent team, a good team. I won't say they were great, because there were still pieces missing, but they were a decent squad last year, and they purposely lost games. I mean, if Wemby is who he's supposed to be and who everybody says he is, I mean, how could he not add 20 wins to the win total? But I'm crazy, bro. Me, I'm put a go. So me, dude. I'm gonna ride or die on that hill too. If they're gonna win 40 plus, man. That's why I made the bets on DraftKings.
So you're gonna ride or die on that hill, just like Rudy's gonna die on that hill for his pinche GoBots way.
Hey man, I couldn't even afford GoBots, bro. I was no. Dude.
Chris was doing the paper mache.
No, he was getting the knockoffs at the Pulga, dude. The Transmorphers.
Man.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
You know what? And I love the phone call. I love it. You are dubbed the voice of the voices.
The voice of the voices.
Yeah, that's what you were dubbed on the chat here.
Hey man, we brought you on, and all of a sudden Mike Jimenez came on as well, bro.
Hey, look at that. Spurs going to win 45 46
games
year.
this year.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's cute.
I have him.
That's cute.
I have him at 40. That's cute as fuck, bro. It's cute as fuck. Like I said, I made the bet that they win the division, and I made the bet that they win 42 plus. You know, that's just me going in on thought of, hey,
Yeah.
Wemby is who he's supposed to be. Then he's going to turn the team around, and then hopefully Vassell and Sohan, they all mesh together, and the chemistry works, and they go off. That's at least thinking. I'm not going to go in with the thinking of, oh, we're not going to do shit this year because I can't.
Yeah, we're losing you, Chris.
May have lost him there.
I think we lost you, man. He had that. He's probably on location, dude.
Yeah. So what I loved about the call, Joe, is that he didn't use the word potential, like I said.
Yeah.
Chris used another word, and you know what? It's a word that I respect. Chemistry. Any team, any team can be shit, but if you have chemistry, you can make waves. You can do damage.
Yeah, you know what? Let's pause real quick too, because we got to go ahead and do some reads here for our sponsors. And what better segue than to have Christopher Leja on than to go ahead and talk about MCS General Contracting. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leja over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. And again, man, make sure you give our boy Christopher Leja a call at MCS General Contracting. And like we always say, they're known because they have the hardest concrete in the business. Again, that number is 210-774-9155.
Got the hardest decks.
They have the hardest decks in the business. That's
hardest
what he says.
Decks in the business. That's awesome. I like that kind of transition.
Look at Mike Bias. He says, we could have won at least 40 games last season, in my opinion. No, bro.
I'd love to get them to call in if they could. I'd love to hear all these responses, man. I'd love to get people to call in all responses. That would be awesome. I mean, again, it comes down. I love what Chris said. It's chemistry, Joe. I mean, you can have great chemistry and make a run. That's all it takes is chemistry.
It does, man.
I respect that a whole lot. So we asked the question, can the Spurs, or why do people think the Spurs win 40 or can win 40 plus games?
Well, you posed it as, are the Spurs a 40-plus win team?
All right, we posed it that way too. Are the Spurs a 40-plus win team? To me, it's no, and I have even trouble getting to 32 wins. Like I said, I pegged them at 32, but I'm even having trouble now. I'm getting them to 32. So I think it's split. Can we say it's split? Most people believe they can get to 40. Most people believe they can't get to 40. I mean, I think it's a split.
Yeah. Well, things happen for a reason, right? And the Spurs were, they had some injuries that kind of hampered the progress of the team.
Yeah.
And they also made some trades that they had to go ahead and do for the future of the team. Brian Wright, love him, hate him. I think he's made some of the right decisions for the future of the franchise and then trading away some of these, let's say, veterans and getting picks, to solidify the Spurs' future.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's been stacking up on picks, made a good decision. But again, I think because of injury and because of trades, that kind of hampered the Spurs' progress. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the Spurs wouldn't have had the opportunity that they did in this past draft to get Wembanyama if things hadn't gone the way they had gone. So we can always go ahead and delve into the what ifs,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is what is really happening. They really were 22-60. They had the same record as the Houston Rockets. But fortunately for us, it actually panned out. Spurs got the number 1 overall pick. But as we stated, are they a 41 team currently as constructed? I still have my reservations. Like I said, I would be happy if they won more than 40 games. I'm not going to knock them in any way. I'm just trying to be the realist. But I have my Spurs season tickets, so it's not like I'm going to be at the game enjoying the games from a fan perspective. I look forward to it, and I'm just going to enjoy the ride for what it is because this is the start of the Wemby era in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Just like it was the start of the David Robinson era. Then it transitioned into the Timmy era. Then the Big Three, And every time you had a different iteration of the actual team itself, it got better.
Yeah.
it got better. They started winning chips. They started getting more championships. They started being in that conversation of, hey, this team, could they win it all this season? They were in the championship conversation. They were, is this the best team in the NBA conversation? The Spurs, regardless of if they were in a small market or not, they were in the national news. They were in those conversations
Yeah.
almost every single season. I'm looking to, forward to seeing that again. And it all starts with the Wemby era.
But I think the word that I've preached and everybody else preaches is the fact that it's going to take patience. You got to be patient. When Gervin was here playing, they were legit. Gervin, Silas, those guys. Robinson was here, they became legit overnight. It was Robinson, it was Terry Cummings, those guys. Then Timmy came. It was Timmy and David, not to mention Sean Elliott. You've got Avery, then you had Manu, Tony. So if you're looking at the great talents of the Spurs, former first number 1 overall picks, when you're looking at David and Tim, will it be the same outcome? I don't think so. It's going to take time. And you know what? I would not be upset, Joe, if they're a lottery team again and they're a low-end lottery.
Hey, being in that maybe 5 to 10 spot, that's not a bad place to be at.
If you're going to be there,
might as well trade.
Do it again. No, do it again.
Hey, but you know what? It also brings up the good question too, because if they're in like that 5 to 10 slot, right?
Yeah.
Because of their record and wherever the lottery balls fall, that's where the Spurs are going to pick. But if they're a lottery team again and they're in that 5 to 10 spot, this year's draft actually has some good players in that 5 to 10 spot. Even if the Spurs get an offer they can't refuse, and they trade away that pick, in theory, they could move down in the draft and still go ahead and this time, instead of getting the best available player, like we always say, they can draft for the need of the team. But maybe get some works in progress.
I'm salivating at the possibility of a Cooper Flag and Wembanyama duo. Flag he's a real deal.
He's a real deal. If you don't know who he is, just go ahead and look him up on Twitter, dude, and you're going to see some videos of the kid.
I know we're getting into this 40-win thing, but I'm going to just throw one last tidbit and we'll move on to something else, man. That whole Giannis talk.
Giannis to the Spurs?
To the Spurs. That has a lot of meaning and motor behind it. I'm just going to say that.
Jeff didn't think so.
From talking to a couple of people. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are in the know.
Yeah.
But just talking to a couple of people, it has teeth.
Giannis wants to win another championship.
Yeah.
And he wants to go with the team that he believes is going to give him that chance.
Yeah.
San Antonio's a dark horse at this point. But I think if he looks at it in the long term and seeing what the Spurs are building, seeing what the record might be this coming season, that might make the Spurs an attractive team, especially giving him the ability to not only come in here and make an immediate impact, but play alongside one Victor Wembanyama. And this is, in theory, if the Spurs go ahead and get Giannis, they'd still have to go ahead and have some of their core pieces. Jeremy Sohan, for example. Maybe Keldon Johnson might be here or not. We don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you have your core pieces, the young pieces, mixed in with Victor Wembanyama, this could be an exciting team with Giannis.
Yeah, and it's something, it's got teeth behind it. And the reason why is because the Spurs have so much money available.
They do. They have money in spades,
a lot of money.
Bro. Yeah.
They've got a lot of money and they've got a lot of draft picks. So that's where Brian Wright's movement is really key, because he freed up a lot of money for that free agent class. And he's also got a lot of draft picks to where if you do a sign and trade, you can trade for just about anybody with all those draft picks they have. Cooper Flag is Duke bound. Yeah, I haven't really checked the recruiting thing, but I mean, he probably is. But you know what? Hey, I'm going to put a smile on Tim Gonzalez's face here. Because as you know, Joe, I'm an NFL draft guy. I talk a lot of NFL draft prospects, stuff like that. And I will say that I've done some film on Riley Leonard, one Duke quarterback, and I would say he's pretty legit. He's pretty legit. I can see the possibility of a Duke upset on Monday night over Clemson if Riley Leonard plays that way that I've seen him be able to play. So, Tim, you might be onto something there. Duke still sucks, but he might be onto something there. We'll see when basketball season comes around. I'm more into the basketball because we love being the shit of Duke and football.
What? Speaking of Giannis, man, if the Spurs, let's say, for example, and theoretically, if they're able to go ahead and pull that off,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be one of the biggest free agent moves that the Spurs have ever pulled in franchise history?
That would be the biggest.
Getting somebody of that caliber.
The biggest.
Yeah.
Because the guy prior was LaMarcus Aldridge.
LaMarcus Aldridge,
but
yeah.
was Aldridge an MVP?
No.
Was he a champion?
No.
No.
He was somebody that still had one NBA All-Star game in him.
Yeah.
And that was it. And he got in there by default, but hey, he was still an NBA All-Star with the San Antonio Spurs.
But if you were to bring in Giannis Antetokounmpo, that is the biggest free agent you would ever be able to bring in.
Yeah. That's star power right there.
Well, I mean, then it poses the question, are they title contenders? You're talking about a loaded Western Conference, and they're not title contenders, but you know what? They got their foot in the door, because what happens? You bring in Giannis, you bring other guys that would want to play in San Antonio alongside a Giannis and a Victor, if Victor is that guy. Again, we got to put that in there. More muscle during the offseason. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Riley Leonard is pretty legit. I'll give him credit. Riley Leonard's pretty legit. I hate that I have to talk good about a Duke player, but Jeff makes me do it all the damn time when he brings up Trey Jones. So I'll give him credit where credit's due. As long as I don't have to talk about Coach K or any of those idiots on the basketball team, I'll talk pretty good about the football program. Hey, this is the Alamo City Sportscast, part of the Alamo City Podcast Network. It's Joe Garcia. It's Rudy Campos Jr. Follow Joe on Twitter at Two Shots Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at Sweep the League. The Two Shot Podcast poll, the Alamo City Sportscast poll question:
Transformers or GoBots?
Is it Transformers or is it GoBots?
We have to do that for Throwback Thursday.
I know.
So let's go ahead and do another ad read real quick here.
Go for
A
it.
word from our sponsor. And when we come back, we're going to have some discussions that are going to transition away from are the Spurs a 40-win team.
Yeah,
So
we
stay
need to.
tuned. Locked on Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked on Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/at Locked on Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked on Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And there you go. Make sure you go ahead and do follow Jeff Garcia. And like I said, make sure you go and subscribe to Locked on Spurs on his YouTube channel, where you can watch the replay of the Locked on Spurs podcast, your daily Spurs podcast, to bring you your daily content of the one and only Silver and Black. So, Rudy, as we start getting into this other news that's going around here around the horn, let's start getting into some college football talk.
All right.
College football, man. And then it's coming up here for the UTSA Roadrunners.
Yeah.
It's their season. Their season's about to get started here. And UTSA fans are really excited because they're already going on Twitter and they're putting, it's the eve of the start of the season for UTSA football. And you know what? I'm excited for the UTSA. They're going to be in a different conference,
American Conference,
and they're going to be playing up. They're going to be going up against some other, let's say talent, upper tier talent here.
Yeah.
And it's an exciting year for this team. I mean, they're bringing back their QB. One more ride,
Frank Harris.
Yeah, you're bringing him back for one more ride.
One of the better wide receiving cores in the nation, may I add. I mean, You've got Cephas, Clark. I mean, you've got one of the better wide receiving cores in the nation, period. And let's not beat around the bush, Joe. Let's not fuck around here. UTSA this year is a legit contender for a major bowl game. I'm saying like the Final Four bowl game, but I'm talking they're a major contender for a very nice big bowl game. And I said it a few weeks back on the show. They're not going to overlook anybody. But I guarantee you week 4, they can go into Tennessee and get that win. They really can. They can come up with a victory against Tennessee. You've got guys on the national media like Pat McAfee and a lot of these guys. They already know about UTSA and what they're doing. This is a legit squad. I mean, there's no reason why they cannot win majority, and I'm saying majority, what? Well, they got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I mean, I see maybe 1 loss, 2 losses at the most.
Yeah, I mean, you're right out the gate. These 4 games that they have here for the month of September, kicking off the season, UTSA is going to be playing against Houston. Then they're going to go ahead and go up and play against Texas State. And that's always interesting, too, because we've had some really good games against Texas State. Then you have the Army game. And that one's always an intriguing game to me because it doesn't matter what the record is for UTSA or Army.
Yeah.
For some reason, when Army and UTSA play, Army gives UTSA a little bit of a fit here for the first half of the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes UTSA makes some great adjustments. They come back and they win that game.
Yeah.
But either way, that's going to be a really good game, really competitive game. Then you have UTSA finishing off the month of September against Tennessee on September the 23rd. And like you said, that you want to make a statement. And I mean, you look at the schedule right now, they could go right now before they even hit Tennessee. They could potentially go 3-0 to start their season. And if they were able to go ahead and beat Tennessee to close out that month, 4-0, you don't think people are going to be talking about this team?
They're already talking.
I know, but I'm saying they would talk about them even more.
They're already talking. And if they get Tennessee and they go into Tennessee and win that game,
that's a big game. That's a big
You're talking
win.
number 12 Tennessee as of right now. We don't know what's going to happen, the first couple of weeks. But if Tennessee stays at 12 or higher, you're getting a top 10 win against a top 10 team.
And that UAB game is always so interesting to me as well.
UAB's tough.
UAB's
tough. Never, and it's kind of weird. It sounds funny, but never overlook that North Texas game in November. It's up north. That's one game, the Mean Green. It's one of those games where it can be tough.
Yeah.
The Tulane game at the end, that's going to be the sealer for me. But I mean, 11-1, I can see. It very well could be 11-1 season. They've got the team, barring injuries. It's 11-1, and Chris Leja is right. UTSA beats Tennessee. San Antonio is getting crazy.
Vamos honking. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I agree. UTSA beats Tennessee. That is a massive win for the organization, for the school, the university.
Yeah. JC says, how are we watching UTSA games? You know what? We have to go ahead and gather up the troops. We got to gather up the boys, JC. Let's go ahead and make that happen. We got to get together and watch a UTSA game, especially if they're on the road at maybe one of these local sports bars, man, and have some fun with it.
You know, Jeff actually been a good question here. And I know I've told Jeff in the past a couple of times about it. He says, you think UTSA will get invited to a major bowl game?
If they get these wins.
That's where it starts. Now for the past couple of years, UTSA they've improved. They've gotten the wins. They've gotten in the bowl games. Now, the problem is they're not winning these bowl games, though. You've got to win bowl games. Now, I always point back to one school, Boise State. When Boise State kept knocking on the door, they were getting into bowl games. They got into a big bowl game, and they won. They beat Oklahoma. Adrian Peterson led Oklahoma team. They won that game. But here's the thing. UTSA's got to do that too. They've got to win that bowl game. They got to get some bowl wins in there. But can they be invited into, a major bowl game? Hell yes, they can. They're there already. They just gotta really just beat down the door when they get into these bowl games.
Look at that. JC says, watch party at the social club is cool. I'm down, dude. Let's see who else can come, man. It'd be cool to gather the troops and go watch a UTSA game.
We can do that.
Maybe Rudy can make it too.
Possibly. So that to answer Jeff's question, ultimately, yes. I mean, they can get invited, but the biggest gripe I have and biggest thing that UTSA fans would know is that they've got to win that bowl game. They got to get into a bowl game and win. You got to keep winning. They got to win bowl games. You can beat St. Mary's, of the deaf all day. It doesn't matter. And what matters is you get into bowl games.
Yeah. And
you win those bowl games. That's where it counts the most.
Yeah. So let's pause real quick. I'm going to go ahead and do another read here for one of our sponsors, JPAR Realty. When we come back, we're going to show you the uniforms that Houston's going to be wearing when they play UTSA. So stay tuned for that. JPAR Real Estate has been a proud sponsor of ours since day one. Check out Cynthia J. Sanchez. Her reviews can't be wrong because all of the people that she sells homes to, they give her 5 stars and say that she is prompt, that she is understanding, that she communicates well. that she calls back, that she answers questions correctly. And yes, they say that she is good at what she does. If you are in the market to buy a home, sell a home, whether it be a rental property, primary residence, or Airbnb, reach out to Cynthia J. Sanchez from J. Par Real Estate. Her number is 210-273-0748. She has 16 years of experience in real estate and is a former claims adjuster with USAA. So she knows what she's looking for when she's showing you those pre-owned homes. Give Cynthia J. Sanchez a call at 210-273-0748 for all your real estate needs. Yeah, so make sure you do go ahead and give Cynthia J. Sanchez a call. If you're in the market to go ahead and buy a home or sell your home or even maybe buy a rental property, her number is 210-273-0748. And Rudy, I hate to do this, man, but we're going to have to get off the topic of college football. But before we do that, let's go ahead and show the uniforms that Houston's going to be wearing when they play UTSA. A throwback here to the Houston Oilers days, man.
That's cute.
I like it, man. I think it's a good nod to the Houston Oilers, man. The Warren Moon era there,
Yeah, the Haywood Jeffries and Earl Campbell and all those.
Aaron
guys.
McNair, God rest his soul, man.
That's cool. I mean, I like the uniforms, but I mean, it's cute, I guess. I mean, it's no Mike Jimenez cute, but it's cute. I mean, that's for damn sure. That'd be pretty cool to get out there and get a loss by UTSA on those type of uniforms.
and the baby blue, the baby blue.
Nothing wrong with baby blue.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get into this because we're gonna bring the show to a close here, and we got to talk about the heated AL West race that's going on. I mean, I wake up every single day. There's something new going on, and I'm looking here. We're gonna show what was going on here. You had the Rangers, man. They had one job: win. They lose to the fucking Mets, bro. 5-6
on a walk-off hit.
I'm just like,
batsman.
The Mets had a fire sale, bro. They traded everybody. This is like a real life major league. I bet you the owners are pissed because this team is supposed to be tanking, but they still find ways to win a couple games here, a game here. Because they still stay afloat. Not bad enough to be, let's say, a lottery pick. But still not good enough to be worth the damn.
Well, I mean, they're in the playoffs. I think technically right now. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3.
This team has no business though. The Mets.
No, the Mets. Yeah, I mean, the Mets are not in the playoffs.
Yeah,
at all. But for whatever reason, it was a threesome between Seattle, Houston, and Texas. And
and you see with the Astros too, man.
Texas came a little early there, and now they're a game behind. So.
And you look at the Astros, bro, and the Astros are doing what the Astros need to do. The Astros are winning. They went ahead and beat the Red Sox 7-4. Astros continue to do what they need to do to stay in the hunt. And then, of course, you have Coach Gio's team over here, the freaking Mariners, and they're doing what they need to do as well, and they won. I don't even know if I have them here. Yeah, I do. I have them here on the tab. So I'm going to show the Mariners. They went ahead and beat the A's. Okay. I know Christopher Leja was saying, I hope the A's beat the Mariners, but it was not to be.
The Mariners are a legit team. They have been a legit team. Julio Rodriguez and all those guys, they are a legit team. And that's why, I mean, if we're looking at a team that's going to be coming out of the AL, I mean, Mariners have to be up there. I think the best team in the AL probably right now is probably their Tampa Bay or Baltimore. But I wouldn't sleep on the Mariners, and I definitely wouldn't sleep on the Astros. I still think the Rangers are still legit.
Well, here you go with the standings as of today, right now.
Yeah.
Still leading the division. You have the Seattle Mariners at 76 and 57.
Yeah.
Followed closely by the Houston Astros, who are just a game back at 77 and 58 because they do have one more loss.
Well, they're technically tied.
They're technically tied, but they still need a win in order to topple the Mariners. Yeah. And then you have the Rangers who are slowly falling. They need to go ahead and get some strings together, some wins here. Their record is 75 and 58. They are still, I think a game or 2 games back of the Mariners at this
They're
point.
Game back.
So they need a win. You can't keep losing. This is a highly contested race here for the division. And what do you get as a consolation prize if you don't win the division? Wild card.
Nothing, man.
You go and look and see what's happening right now with that wild card race.
Yeah.
It's like you have to win your division in order to get in for sure. because you don't want to go ahead and be a wild card team. That's just a harder road, And I look right now at the wild card teams. You have Tampa Bay Rays. That's a scary good team there.
Yeah.
And then you have Houston, and then you have Texas.
But you realize that the month of September for a Ranger fan is the month. You've got Minnesota, you've got Houston, you've got the Blue Jays, you've got the Red Sox as well, you've got the Mariners, and you've got the Mariners twice in 2 series that month. So that is literally the make or break month, September. This is, if you're a baseball fan, like I love baseball, this is the month right here. This is the month where shit starts to get real, big time.
Christopher Leha, because Jacob Eric says bang bang. Christopher Leha says that's right, Jacob. We bang in the trash cans all damn day.
Hey man, what if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Who gives a shit? I don't care. You want to cheat to win. You want to cheat to win. Just win. Who cares?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and pause real quick for one more ad read, and then we'll go ahead and get into our last topic of the day.
All right.
Serenity Manor is an events venue located at 14405 Old Bandera Road, across from Flores Country Store, set in a historic building that is over 100 years old. You can have a baby shower, bridal showers, quinceañeras, sweet 16s, corporate events, weddings. There's an indoor and outdoor venue with a dance floor and a sand volleyball court out in the back, set under the shade of the trees, and there is beautiful lighting in the evenings. Serenity Manor is a very beautiful place that is very family oriented, and they have rotating Thursday nights. They have karaoke and game nights. They also have a bar that serves beer, wine, and margaritas. So after a concert at Flores Country Store, you can go over diagonal across the street, catty corner, grab a beer, get away from the crowd, and check out the beautiful Serenity Manor. Yeah, so make sure you do go check out Serenity Manor. Their address is 14405 Old Bandera Road in Helotes, Texas, and they are across the street from Flores Country Store. That's diagonal, catty corner from Flores Country Store. So make sure you go and check them out. And I want to go ahead, and as we start bringing the show to a close here, we have somebody on the line with us right now, a special guest, so to speak, the one and only Jeff Garcia. Jeff, what's up?
Oh, nothing much. Just listen to you guys talking about the Spurs and not giving them credit. Joe kind of low-key insinuating that the Spurs don't play perimeter defense. Guys, I scoffed at that idea. No. All that's false, everybody. But I'm here to talk some GoBots and Transformers.
Oh no, I'm in trouble now, aren't I?
Listen, no. Let me. Rudy, let's give and Joe, let's give the kids some background here.
Yeah.
If you want to be factual, GoBots were the first.
That's what I was telling Rudy.
Yeah.
GoBots were the first. They beat the Transformers to the punch. The problem is that I think what happened, Rudy and Joe, was the marketing of it. It really was. If you watch cartoons, there was Scooter. I think his name was Scooter.
Yeah, Scooter.
Kind of a squeaky voice kind of guy, and the character designs were very basic. But
you got to thank Hanna-Barbera for that, Jeff.
Well, exactly. Everything just came to a pitfall for the GoBot franchise. Then they go with Tonka, which was an interesting choice for the toys.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of fold the arms in, fold the legs in, turn this and that. When Transformers came on the scene, it was a little bit more edgier, I would say. The cartoons, they weren't as Disney-fied or very clean.
Yeah.
There was some complexity to it. There was a lot. GoBots was very basic. What was it? The Renegades and
the Guardians.
The Guardians. That's it. Renegades, Guardians, fight. Transformers was just.
And we can't have Jeff on if we're not showing the money bags graphic, dude. We got to put that up here, man.
There was the Starscream Megatron dynamic.
Yeah.
I mean, which is good. By the way, everybody, I recommend this YouTube story about why Starscream wanted power, and it will break your heart. It'll just crush you.
Let me check it out.
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick.
It says, the GoBots, and you look at the Transformers, man, there's just no comparison when it came to the animated show. The Transformers was far superior. You know,
The Transformers animation, they had a lot of errors. If you go back and watch,
Yeah.
but it
there was a lot
looked
of
better,
color
Jeff.
errors.
I don't give a
There
damn
was a
about
lot of
errors. It looked better. Did you have GoBots, Jeff?
Yes, I did.
Who
Yeah.
hated you that gave you GoBots, bro?
Nobody did.
I love
Nobody. I wish.
GoBots.
You know what? I wish I still kept them because
Oh.
they're so valuable right now.
They are more valuable than Transformers.
Are they still? Can they still be held together after that long? They were made out of cheap plastic.
No, they were made by Tonka. Tonka was known for
They were made out of plastic.
The
They weren't
metal.
made out of metal, and they only needed like 3 little things, and you transformed them.
Well, that was the thing. They were very basic. Now, the
Yeah.
transformation for that was basic. You know what? It's gotten to the point now where Transformers toys, if you buy them now, they have grade levels, like have the difficulty levels now. So that is interesting. Back in the day, Rudy, we just dove in and figured it out.
Check this
Yeah.
out for ripoff, not for ripoff, but comparison. Okay, you had the Transformers world was named Cybertron. The GoBots home planet, Gobotron.
Gobotron.
But who came first? Who
God,
came first?
bro.
The GoBots came first. So if you really think about it, it was
Woo.
the Transformers that stole from the GoBots.
Hey, but they
franchise.
pulled it off better, man. I mean, you look at the Leader One versus Optimus Prime. Who's your boy? Who you
Oh
going
yeah,
with?
yeah, yeah. The marketing of Transformers was way better than the GoBots.
Better villain, Psykill
you
or
know,
Megatron?
Psykill was a bad MFer. I mean, we can't forget he was bad. He was Megatron bad.
If you go back and watch some of the old GoBots cartoons, there's like their version of Starscream, but they didn't have that dynamic. It's like the second in command. If you go back and watch that second in command for the Renegades, he was all about just offing Leader One. Not
Yeah.
kidding.
Copter.
Not kidding. He would literally just say like,
Yeah.
"Why don't we just go kill him?"
Yep.
Like it was just rowdy, but no. And it was the good thing about it though that you seen go.
Man, I like Mario Cavazos' comment here, Jeff. He says Jeff stole GoBots from Shopper's World or wins. Dude, I
Man.
forgot about Shopper's World on the
I
south
remember
side,
that.
bro.
In South Park Mall. I remember that.
Yeah.
I can still see TG and Y. in South Park
TG&Y.
Mall.
Hey, man, TG&Y was always good for something expired, bro. Before you bought, you had to look because even the label was kind of peeling
But-
off too, man.
But if you, Rudy, you would appreciate this. There's a somewhat of a revival coming, and some of the new action figures that are coming out will blow your mind. The redesigns of these, and how they're coming out. They're sticking to that basic kind of blocky look,
Yeah.
but they're just sprucing them up. And it's to the point where I think I want to get one. They're very pricey.
And you know, I'll be honest. 4 months ago, I went on eBay and I looked up. I typed in Psycho original inbox. You know, back in the '80s, package and everything. And I put a bid, and I lost that bid. I lost that toy, Jeff. Brand new in box. I put a bid of $875.
Yeah.
$875.
No.
It ended up selling for over $1,100.
Marvel did a tip of the cap to Psykill in the recent series. I think it was She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I think it was She-Hulk.
Yeah.
They did a tip of the cap to Psykill.
Yeah.
The guy was cosplaying as Psykill during one. I think it was She-Hulk. I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, it probably was, man. But when you think of Transformers, GoBots, they didn't make a
Right.
movie about GoBots.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
did.
They did.
No.
Yes, they did.
Not a
Yes, they
live
did. Yes,
action
they did.
film. That's what I'm trying to
Oh,
get at.
live action.
So
No.
when you're
Live
looking
action,
at
no.
live action films, you know, you're looking at GoBots and you're looking at Transformers. They didn't make a live action movie about GoBots. They made one about Transformers. You had
Yeah.
Optimus Prime. You had some of the usual
You know-
suspects, but
you know, there's
you're breaking up, Jeff.
what?
Yeah, Jeff, you're breaking up, man.
No.
I think
they really departed from that happy Hanna-Barbera vibe. Look, this is like obviously Transformers won the fan battle. They won the favor. They're the favorites. They continue to be the favorites, and rightfully so. You know, good job
Ooh, Mass.
from the marketing. But yeah, I mean, GoBots. Yeah, the whole there was the joke, Rudy. That's the dollar store version.
Yeah.
What was the thing? Like you got you at Kmart.
you know
Yeah.
what? Let's go ahead and start ending the show here. But Mike
Yeah.
Bias says he wants to go ahead and get our thoughts on Mask. Hey, man, Mask was the show when in the 80s, man.
absolute.
And the intro music, probably
The
some of the
intro is
best that I've ever heard.
Mask.
And
Yeah.
and there's a live action movie coming out of Mask.
There
When
is.
it's gonna happen, I
Can't
don't know.
wait,
Probably don't know when now with the writer strike, but
I
I cannot wait for that.
Jeff, I don't know. You probably know this, but what a lot of people don't know, Mask is tied in to G.I. Joe.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
A lot of people didn't know that. I'm like,
And Battle is just tied into Transformers universe.
yeah, that is. But a lot of people
Yeah.
didn't know Mask and G.I. Joe were tied in.
Tied together, yeah.
I'm like, it's tied in. And that's I wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me if we see that in the movies.
But see, Mask, the concept of Mask translates better for today's world. I think it'll work.
Oh,
It
God,
would,
yes.
like a live action movie would work. The CGI, you know, the graphics, the costumes. I think it would work.
Just
Yeah.
keep Michael Bay away from it.
Oh, he'll be in it. You know that.
You know what they need to do? It's oh my God, Tim Gonzalez. His silver platter steak is probably on the way. What they need to do is we need to make Jeff a custom made transformer, and it's going to be the silver platter with the steak on it, and it transforms into something.
It transforms into another steak.
Turns into a money bag or something, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking GoBots. We're not talking about those, dumbass McDonald transformer toys where you had to change into the
Changeable.
hot
They were
cakes.
called the changeable.
Yeah,
The changeable.
the hot cakes and the fries and the nugget and all that. Yeah.
Oh God, man. Well, Jeff, thank you for calling in and being a
sir. Yes,
surprise
sir.
guest, man, for this Throwback Thursday discussion. And make sure you go and follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. And Jeff, you got a new episode of Locked On Spurs coming out today?
You're likely tomorrow. It'll be, as of right now, hopefully everything goes well, the Vinny Vencetta of Kings 5. We're going to be discussing, obviously, the silver and black. And here's a question for y'all to just think about. Which new team could potentially be the next Spurs rival? So you get rid of the Lakers, the Mavericks, and the Rockets. Which next team could be the next big rival for the Spurs in the new Wemby era? So we'll be discussing that and more.
Hey, if you need somebody on standby, I'm always available because, every time I come out on an episode, we do come out on the national news, man.
That is true. Yeah. So Joe, you're officially on standby now.
So tell your guest he's got to step it up, man, because he can't get you on the national news, man. He's lacking.
All right, I'll let him know, Joe. All right, talk to you later.
All right, man. Thanks, Jeff. All right, man. So that's about all the time we have for today's episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. Rudy, before we go ahead and bring it to a close, you want to go ahead and let us know what you got coming up on Sweep the League?
Yeah, we've got more episodes. We actually got done with the Steak and Shits episode about a week ago, so that one's already gone to play. But we've got some more stuff with Candace, myself, Stats, and Rocky Garza. Also, quick shout out, Joe. Gio's back in the podcast
He's
world.
back in the saddle.
So we'll be doing some work with Coach Gio again. But we're just having a lot of fun. You looking for more Sweep the League episodes coming out
Man,
very soon.
Gio, he's just coming back so he can talk about the fucking Mariners, bro. Where were you before then, Gio?
Well, that guy's actually been losing some weight.
Oh, he's always been losing weight,
Yeah,
man.
but he's losing like a lot of weight.
Oh, that's a good thing,
and that's
man.
a good thing. So he's back now. He's ready for Georgia football. He's ready for Rams football and Mariners baseball, and he's a Spurs homer. So of course Spurs basketball.
Yeah, I got to get him on the show too, so I can talk with him about the Mariners and all that and the Spurs. So I'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
All right, man. So that's about all the time we have for today's show. Make sure you do go and follow Rudy at Sweep the League. Go ahead and follow me at Two Shots Podcast. So for Rudy Campos Jr., I'm Joe Garcia. Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. We'll see you boys later.
Later.
Be safe out there. Peace.